Guys, we will move on and go to the retrieval of government lands by the Lands Ministry, and the discussion has been over the employment of a private person to do the work. Questions around why is the security agencies not doing that if we want to claim the lands, and why is a private security firm, quote unquote, doing that and all that. Salom, let me start with it. Is it right to bring in a private person in the first place to retrieve lands for government when there's a clear rules or institutions?
The question is who is this private individual? What expertise does he have? What does he work with? Does he work with security? Is he a security man? And if it's a security person, he's working for the state. The state also has security agencies under it. Why can't the state do it? Because when they are going, sometimes they go with police and military. Yeah. They lead police and military to the place. This same company went to do some work a few years ago at UPSA, where they went to demolish some places and clear the place and all of that. They went with, and me passing. They went with military and they went with police. So if they would need military and police to do the work, why don't you use the military and police yourself? What's the point in contracting a private individual? And you see, and how is he paid? He is paid a percentage of the land he retrieves. You understand that? If he retrieves maybe 10 acres, I don't know the percentage, but he's giving some percentage. Sometimes they say they split it half. I mean, giving some good percentage.
And this is based on what rule?
And the question is, and these are prime land, government lands, prime lands, cantonments, Impasa, Miss Ligonex, these are prime lands. And when he does this, I do not know. But how we have come to know things work in Ghana, you think he will take all those lands alone and leave the one who gave him the job? It speaks to the failure of the state to do its own work. Now they are making the professor who went to expose or went to
drop
the
chief director.
The chief director of the
who went to drop
ministry.
the filler or the information as like he's on his own. But we all know this. We all know this, and it's hypocritical for us to behave as if we didn't know this. We know this. We know we know the man. We know what he does. That is what he does, and he has the backing of the state to do it. Sometimes people come to complain to you, say, who is behind it? Say, this guy. Then you have nothing to do really, because you know that person doing it has a backing of the state. Why should the state invest so much power in this person? And they say he's not a land guard. What is he? Who is he? What powers does he have? What authority does he have? Why must he be using the security forces or agencies to be doing that? It is wrong. And you see, when we do that, then we legitimize the actions of land guards. And so when somebody at Botiano says he's a land guard and he does something, you go and arrest him. But the state itself can empower somebody to do something that is illegal. There's a way you retrieve government lands. There's a way you use the security agencies. Sue the people in court. The court gives an order. Let the people move from the place. Private people do so every day. Why will you go and empower him that way? He goes up doing things, spoiling things. And who are you going to report to? Yeah. It is most unfortunate. So it's a pity that the police and the military and all of them are now running helter-skelter, trying to explain themselves, say that they don't use. I mean, it's we know what it is, and we know their company. That is what they do. Oh.
Please, I want to ask, under what law is the company registered, and what are its duties? Because in the financial sector, we have what we call asset recovery companies. But we know regulatory institutions that license them, for which reason they are able to do the recovery of assets. But if somebody is registering a company to retrieve lands, the question is, which aspect of our laws permit all these things? It must be an oversight. But this is the problem I have. The man went to speak to the Parliamentary Select Committee. And the best the Parliamentary Select Committee would do is to bring the information to the public for media to publish. The Parliamentary Committee could not demand that. We want to investigate that company.
But they've asked him to bring
documents. We
want
to establish the company should come and face us. We want to find out the company's registration. We want to know under which law was the company registered to operate. Which people actually signed the contract with this particular company. So that at the end of the day, the committee can tell all Ghanaians that the company is legitimately or illegitimately operating. Mm-hmm. But all these issues that we should be dealing with is under the cover. And we are only talking about, a private company. Can you imagine a state, a country like Ghana, we have the police, we have military, we have all kinds of national security, all kinds of security agencies. And we are saying that not Elvis Dako's land or private land. We are talking about the land that is belonging to the state of Ghana. And we are saying that we are unable to use the police, we are unable to use national security, we are unable to use military, we are able to use all the structures available to be able to retrieve the land. We are even unable to use the courts to be able to retrieve the land. But we are able to retrieve the land by using a private company. See, it always marks of a whole systemic failure. And that systemic failure has serious implications for the ordinary person. If the state has to use private company to retrieve its land, who will Vivian Loco use if somebody is trying to take her land away from her? You will go and report to the police. The police are not able to recover the land for the state. The state has to go for a private company to come and recover land. So if you, the private individual, your land is being forcibly taken away from you, who are you going to rely on? So clearly, this clearly tells us that this is why we are unable to fight the land guard system in the country. Because the security apparatus that we are supposed to be relying on to fight them, the state of Ghana says those institutions are unable to deliver. So it's now relying on a private company to do the job. So if ordinary citizens are having those problems and go and report to the police, what it means is that it's an exercise in futility. So it meant that the ordinary Ghanaian has no help if it comes to land matters, which is dangerous. See, because a land is a serious economic asset. Because for some families, a plot of land is all that they will survive on for the rest of their lives. Because that is where they get farm produce and they are able to survive. And then somebody is taking their entire livelihood from them with force. And then the security apparatus you are supposed to rely to help you, the state says they are not capable. So it means that when you take your case there, it's a lost case. This is a serious national security matter that we should deal with. And I think that the opportunity has been presented to us as a nation with this Parliamentary Select Committee briefing. It's about time that we sit back and decide that, no, this thing should not be allowed to continue. That contract with the private person should be terminated. The security apparatus must be taxed to be able to deliver and become effective so that the ordinary citizens like us can go there and get justice. I said it here. A colleague of mine, we are all tenants in the same house. Bought land from state housing. Receipt. Went to the property fraud unit because
so
somebody
still not been able to.
The relative has already built on the land.
Wow.
Because the property fraud unit of the police at the end of the day says, where it is gotten to, we don't think we can help you, go to court. But she is the one that is having receipt covering this land. And the document from Lands Commission also shows that the land actually belongs to state housing. But somebody has been able to use force because it's in the real estate business and knows how to use land guard to terrify people. And you run away and they'll take the land. So the person has successfully taken the land. So you will see what the ordinary Ghanaian is going through. We have no help. Because the state says, what the state, and it is a fact that if you rely on the state security, and when it comes to land matters, the possibility of you getting that land for yourself is about 10% over 100.
Okay. So
majority will lose their land to these people. This is what the land guards do. What this company is doing is how the land guards operate. They have people that will scare you away from your land. And they know that when you go to police and they will not come and do anything.
So how do we move forward with this matter?
This is why that's what I'm saying. That there should be a parliamentary a probe into this issue. It's not only about the ministry going to meet the committee. Now we have clear evidence that there is a systemic problem and that the parliamentary committee should set up a probe and look at the entire issue and then give us a certain concrete response to this. But it's like we are jangling the issue in the media and we'll just talk about it and then tomorrow another issue will come and that will be the end of the issue. And then ordinary people will keep suffering in silence. That is what is being done to the ordinary person.
Salam, well, how do we solve this
see,
issue?
The people have a contract with government. They say this. I'm quoting them. Citi Newsroom, 6 September 2019. We have a contract with the state. We signed this contract in 2017, I think. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources signed for the government of Ghana. And the contract essentially said that we should identify all government lands that have been encroached upon and reclaim them for government. This is what they are saying. This is the contract they say they have. The ministry and co are saying they don't really have any contract like that. What they're trying to do is play around words, that they have not contracted any land guard. The person won't come and say, I am called a land guard or I am a land guard. But let's look beyond however they call them. They may call themselves fancy names. But what do they do? What they do, is it same as what so-called land guards do? If that is the case, then they are land guards. If it sounds like a dark, works like a dark, then it is a dark. That is how we must start. And if government has a contract with them to undertake this exercise, which is illegal, then that contract is an illegal contract. Government shouldn't be entering into illegal contracts. I'm happy. I hear Parliament, the committee asked the chief director, the Professor Besinyale guy, to provide or produce the contract document they have with the guy. And this 2019 report I'm reading from Citi Newsroom, saying that the guys are saying they have a contract. And the chief director has confirmed that. So nobody should come and tell us that the guys have no contract. They've been working all over the place.
They've been working
They've been working all over, and they are very ruthless in how they do their job, because they are paid based on the job they do. So they don't want to go home empty-handed. So they will work and work ruthlessly. No matter what you tell, they won't hear. Once they know that this is the place, they will do whatever, because their life depends on that. That is how we reduce ourselves to. Let's see the contract. Let them make it public. Let's not interrogate their matters. And if indeed this is what government is doing, then it is very shameful, to say the least.
Okay.
Then I think government admitted in their statement that Lands Commission actually contracted the company.
Yes, but they failed to admit that they are land guards.
You understand? No, you see,
They
and that's
don't
why
want
the last
to use
time
the word land guard.
the article of the land law, the land guard law that you read, which shows that even if it's my land and somebody is using force to take it and I go there with weapon, I'm a land guard. How the law was written.
Yeah.
So if you are using private company to also go and chase land, the law that the Ghana government has passed and the description it gives to land guard, it meant that that company is doing the same thing that the law says is illegal. It doesn't matter whether the state has actually given them a contract.
They are very ruthless.
Because the law says that if you use any weapon to go and protect the land, it doesn't say that whether the land is yours or not. You are a land guard. Per the description of that Land Guard Act. Salem read it the last time. So you see, this country, that's what I'm saying, that elsewhere,
people are running.
This issue would be a big issue, because you see, many people have lost their lands to anything. What people are doing, that's how real estate, those so-called private real estate companies, that is the strategy.
They all have security.
That's the same way.
So they'll come to your place. They'll take over the place. The old lady has a small farm. Just in Accra here.
I shouldn't be laughing.
They took over the place. The old lady who comes there to farm small. The big estate took over the place and they've built big things there. Very big. And the minister recently went there to commission a place. But this old lady whose farm has been trying small.
That's her rightful land.
Yes, she's lost it.
Oh.
This man is about to run, so she's lost it. Has nobody to talk for her.
Wow.
Forever she'll be in pain.
Yeah.
She may even die out of that pain.
Yeah.
And we want God to be blessing us. It's not correct.
Gentlemen, we have to end it on that sad note. Elvis Daku, finder, editor, and then Salam Adonu works with us here at Citi FM and Citi TV, host of The Big Issue on Saturdays. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week. My name is Vivian Kai Loko. Goodbye.